Howdy YouTube, and welcome to my Twilight Imperium strategy card ranking video. So in this video, I am going to rank my order of worst to best strategy cards. And my order is listed here below, you can see it right here, and I'm going to talk through my justifications of why each strategy card is placed where it is. So without further ado, let us start with diplomacy. The main reason why I have listed diplomacy as the worst overall strategy card is because of the secondary ability. It's too powerful. Allowing your opponents to refresh two of their planets is just too strong, especially in the early game. Towards the end game, diplomacy becomes a solid pick, however, especially if Conquer the Weak secondary objective is out on the table. Being able to pretty much secure your home system, barring someone who picks warfare or the one action card, unexpected action, which can bypass diplomacy. So barring those two things, you can protect your home system, and then you don't have to worry about people trying to, jump on your home system basically. So I admit, in the end game, diplomacy is really strong. It's a really strong strategy card in the end game. But early game, it just gives way too much power to the other people on the table, and that's why I have ranked it last. Construction. So I've put this one second last because most of the time, most races, you may want to take it once in the game and then spend off the secondary a couple of times, maybe, and then be done with construction. It's not something that most races want to be taking repeatedly. It's like a one-off fun-off for the most part. And that is why I've placed it second last. Not to mention, barring the two secret objectives which require you to have PDS or space docks on the board, barring that, construction doesn't actually help you in scoring any objectives. It's great to bolster your defenses, however, in the early game, to deter people from attacking you. So it's fantastic for that. But in the grand scheme of things, towards the end game, construction is pretty useless. So that is why I've ranked it second last. Warfare. Now, before I say anything else, Warfare is my all-time favourite strategy card. So it is with great sadness that I have placed it in third last place. you know what I mean, as the third last strategy card. Now, Warfare is a solid pick throughout the game, don't get me wrong. You're not really going to go too wrong in picking Warfare as a strategy card. It's highly versatile in what you can do with it. You can build twice, or you can move twice. And being able to rearrange your fleet on the fly is a nice benefit as well. Now, the reason why I've ranked Warfare so low is that ultimately, despite the huge flexibility that it offers, Warfare alone does not help you in really winning the game. You can argue that it can help you with scoring positional objectives or controlling X amount of planet objectives. I give you that, definitely. It has its merits for that. But otherwise, it doesn't really help you too much in terms of scoring points. I mean, it was a tough choice. I was debating warfare and trade, where I should ultimately rank these. And to my surprise, I've actually put warfare below trade. And let's move on to trade now. With trade, although warfare is a more popular pick than trade most of the time, trade, with clever negotiating, which skillful players should be able to manage, helps you score more objectives than warfare can. There's 3 tier 1 and 3 tier 2 objectives, which require you to, spend influence resources or trade goods to get those points. And so basically, there's 6 objectives among stage 1 and stage 2, which trade can help you set up for. With warfare, there's only 2 or 3 positional objectives in. There's 3 in stage 1, 3 in stage 2 as well, technically speaking. But with warfare, you need to have the fleet in order to, conquer and maintain those strategic positions. Whereas with trade, once you've got the goods, you're good to go. That's the thing. And like I said, it was a very tough choice of these two. I was very much, it's a very close pick where these two ultimately end up, but I've done it in this order for that reason. Technology is next. Technology is a solid pick in the early game. Everyone wants to ramp up on the technology, get as much tech as quickly as possible. And there are 4 tech objectives in total as well, and 2 secret objectives as well. But the thing with tech is towards the end game, the strategy card just becomes useless, and no one really picks it anymore. So from a holistic overall perspective, that is why I have put technology in the position that it is in. It's because while it's really good early game, it kind of falls to the wayside in the end game. Alright, in third place, we have politics. This might be a little surprising to some of you looking at this list. The reason why politics is in third position is because in a 6-player game, it is pretty much going to be picked every single round, and its value only increases as the game progresses. Because as the game progresses, if you're, scoring well, you want to basically be in a position where you are alternating between politics and Imperial strategy card picks, more or less. And because of that, that is why politics is in third place. It gets picked pretty much every round. The abilities are, they're pretty good abilities. And it only gets better as the game progresses. It has real value throughout the entire game. So that's why it's very much earned a solid third place. And now in second place, leadership. I admit I had a bit of a debate between second and first place, but I've put leadership in second because again, it's one of those strategy cards everyone wants to be jumping on all the time. Everyone wants to be pretty much everyone every turn wants to spend on the secondary of leadership. So it has real value across the board, and the primary ability is really good as well. So again, like politics, leadership is one of those strategy cards which should be taken pretty much every turn. There might be one turn in the game of Twilight Imperium where no one picks leadership. It happens, but leadership has strong value throughout the game. And even in the late game, where the command counters are less important, leadership still retains immense value because of its low initiative number. If you go into the final turn and you don't need to take Imperial to win, pick leadership, because then you're first in the initiative order for scoring objectives. For this reason, leadership is in second place. It has tremendous value throughout the game. Its getting the command tokens is really strong at the beginning and mid-game. Gets a little weaker towards the end, but leadership's initiative value 1 becomes stronger towards the end game, and this is why leadership's in second place. It has strong value for different reasons throughout the game. And finally, in first place, this may come as a surprise, I've put Imperial as top dog. In a nutshell, the main reason is because to win Twilight Imperium, you need to score victory points, and Imperial is the strategy card which allows you to score more points than other players. In the early game, Imperial isn't such a great pick, but there's still value in picking it in the early game just to draw more secret objectives. And the quicker you assimilate your hand of secret objectives, the better. Because then you have more time to plan how you are going to score those secret objectives. Or you have more opportunities to sort of shuffle through the secret objectives until you have 3 which you should be able to score. So with the secondary ability of Imperial, it's one that every player on the table should plan to spend a strategy token on. So whenever someone picks Imperial, maybe there's an exception for the very first turn. If on the very first turn you're planning on spending on the secondaries of warfare and technology, then you can give Imperial the skip. But if you have a command token spare on the first turn and someone picks Imperial round 1, you should almost definitely spend it on the secondary of Imperial. And beyond turn 1, if Imperial's picked, you should factor that into your plans, and you should prepare to spend a command token to draw secret objectives. You need points to win Twilight Imperium. Secret objectives grant you more opportunities to score points. Therefore, getting as many opportunities as you can to draw through secret objectives so that you can score all 3 of your chosen secret objectives in the game is going to increase the probability of you winning the game. Every time someone takes Imperial, you really should be, drawing a secret objective off the secondary. And as far as the primary is concerned, both of Imperial's primaries are really strong. Stronger as the game progresses. Being able to score 2 primary objectives in a single turn is huge, especially if you are a race that has a bit of a slow start and you don't want to spend spend resources or whatever it is, command tokens, trade goods, in order to score objectives early in the game. You fall a bit behind because you want to try and build up your field. And Imperial is a great way for you to play catch up. So once you've established your board, it becomes much more easier for you to then start spending your resources, etc., to score points when you've stabilized your position a bit more. And even if you don't control Mechatol Rex and you don't get the bonus point, a free secret objective is never going to be a bad thing. Getting a free secret objective is only going to help you in the long run. Either you can hopefully you draw one that you can score, but even if you don't, then on a later turn when you draw another one, you can sort of shuffle through until you get 3 that you are in a position to score. So there you go. That's my overall order. I am interested to see whether you guys agree with my ranking list. I can definitely see debates happening here and maybe up here as well. But I think, all things considered, this list is pretty reasonable. But let me know in the comments if you disagree. I would be really interested to know. And that's it for this video. Mission complete. Signing out.